And thank you for my possibility to explain a little bit about Stoker and our role. And at this part of this event, we really can come down to the ground, to the basic fact of infrastructure. And we think that it's not only on the ground, we're going to be in the ground. And I think the way it's organized, the way it's built out, and the way you do it is very important for other layers on the service platforms. So, for example, when you talk about these pillars 1, 2, 3, we are part of actually 3, but we think that we have an influence on the other pillars too. Okay, so see if I'm going to see this. Yes, a little bit about Stoker. We are only provides dark fiber, so the active equipment is our customers. So we are a passive physical infrastructure provider, and we are doing our business in the Stockholm region. And one of the fundamental things also is that we have a very long-term perspective on our business, and also that we build a robust and network that we always put down enough with fiber, so you can always lease fiber in Stockholm. And the city of Stockholm regard this infrastructure the same way as they built and maintain streets in order to facilitate traffic or communication on the streets. Same way you facilitate communication on this infrastructure. And we also, with this infrastructure, create a leveled play field for operators, for service providers, and for companies in the city of Stockholm. And we provide an open and neutral infrastructure, and we are not competing with our customers. Because we are on this ground level. And we provide these services on our network on equal terms and transparent. And we have a broader perspective than many operators, because we are a part of the city of Stockholm's policy when it comes to growth and sustainable development. Some facts about Stoker. We are owned by the city of Stockholm, 100%. We have been around for a little bit more than 20 years. We are financed by earnings and loans, and no public fundings in Stoker. We are on the market. We have only 90 employees, and the reason is that's strategic, because we purchase all our civil works and the service of the network from subcontractors in full competition, in order to make our business as efficient as possible. And we have now connected buildings with 400,000 households in Stockholm, and that would be all the apartment houses in Stockholm are connected to our network. And I can say that the demand for dark fiber have exceeded our expectation during these years. Okay, what impact do you have on the market if you have an open, operator-neutral network? If you want to establish business in Stockholm, it's a very low threshold, and the reason for that is that that you can lease fiber from Stoker. On other markets, you have 2 choices mainly. One choice is to build the infrastructure yourself, and that is very, very costly. And you're very, very sure about that you should be staying on that market for a long time. The second choice is that you have to try to lease fiber from a competitor that competes with you on the service level. And that starts all of these discussions about regulations and are they fair treated and so on. So we have over 900 customers. We are only business to business, but we have over 100 operators and service providers in our network. And in the European perspective, the city of Stockholm is not a big city. And there are small actors, there are big actors. But also, for example, big companies. One example is bank and finance that lease fiber from us in order to create a robust network. And we are also example of asset sharing. Many customers use our network and then share the costs of the network when it comes to civil works. One example for the competition that this creates is that we have 4G networks in Stockholm. And one of the competitors to the incumbent have said that if we hadn't been in place, they hadn't been able to compete with the incumbent. But due to the possibility to lease dark fiber, they could do it. We have great coverage, and the prices, as you see, fairly low. And the reason to that is that many actors competing with services in the city of Stockholm. And we think also that this has great impact on innovation. When we are doing a report during November, we're coming back with a report of the impact of this infrastructure on innovation. On the national level, then, we have 170 networks, city networks in Sweden. And the impact of networks is rather interesting if you see it in a European perspective, because what is happening in Sweden is that the incumbent, Telia Sonera, other actors, private actors, and the city networks are investing heavily. So it's not happening that some are very worried about that when public sector go in invest, then the private sector stops to invest. What we see in Sweden is very heavy investment in this field. And the incumbent, Telia Sonera, connect the houses directly with fiber. As you know, in for example, Great Britain and in Germany, British Telecom, Deutsche Telekom, they have fiber to the cabinet and copper the last mile. And what we see in Sweden now is that we have more connections with fiber than XDSL. And that is quite interesting. And we think that fiber is the killer application. When you know about that discussion, because when you got fiber, then you start to subscribe on network services. So you see 60% of them that fiber, they want to have 100 megabit connections. Finally, some experience from Stockholm. We think there is two things that's important. One thing is to get the fiber roll out. The second thing is the way you do it. So you do it in a way that stimulates competition on the service level and also innovation. And we think that one important objective when it comes to digital single market would be to stimulate many actors, for example, municipalities and regions. And also that on every market you have one actor that's staying on the dark fiber level, because the experiences for Stockholm then is that you get it built out, but also a thriving competition on the service level. And the market model decides what's happening in the service level, because if you're an incumbent, you build fiber structure for yourself. We build fiber structure for the market. And by promoting a non-vertically integrated player, you get access on equal terms, you foster competition, and also an openness for alternative operators and new business approach. So finally, this is a platform you create for the digital market, a platform for society, and not only for telecom. Thank you.
Thank you.